Hey guys, today we are going to be chatting about why your sleep sucks on low carb. If you're eating low carb and having the worst sleep of your life, you may want to watch this video. Maybe you enjoy the way you feel on low carb, but your sleep totally sucks. You're having trouble falling asleep, or you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you have this woozy, tired but wired feeling. Maybe you're tired at 8 p.m. and then 10 p.m. you get your second wind and you can't fall asleep no matter what you do. Maybe you know that carbs fix the problem, but you're low carb and you feel really good on low carb, but you know the carbs fix the problem, but you don't feel good on carbs. That whole vicious cycle. Maybe you load up on magnesium, melatonin, all of the things only to lay in bed or have disaster pants and nothing is working. You'll want to stay tuned for the tips that I have for you today. But before I get started, maybe it'd be helpful if I told you what my sleeping story was on low carb so that you can maybe relate to my experience. I went low carb, high fat in July of 2014, and in about October of that same year, my hair started falling out and I had a hard time sleeping. My husband and I had gone down to Mexico, and that was sort of like the pivotal trip where everything kind of came to light, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a problem. I need to fix this. I was laying in bed for the third night in a row watching Battlestar Galactica until 5 o'clock in the morning, and my husband turned over and asked me if I was still awake, and I'm like, yeah, I'm already on the second season. Huge problem, seriously. And there was hair all over my pillow and all over the floor. I had to keep vacuuming the condo that we were staying at, and I remember ever since I was little, I always carried hair elastics on my wrist, and it's always the same type of hair elastic. I've always used the same one, and I wrapped it around 4 times that day, and I've never wrapped my hair around 4 times. It's always 3. So I was losing so much hair that I was able to grab at least another inch and wrap it around my hair. So that was a huge freak out moment because I felt so good on low carb, high fat, and I wanted to keep going because my body looked so great and I felt so good. But there were some issues happening in the background that I didn't know of, except for these symptoms. And I know that a lot of people will sometimes push it away and be like, oh, it'll just get better, I'll take more magnesium. But in my case, until I addressed the actual issue, was that I was not eating enough carbohydrates. The sleepless nights and the hair loss, which was an underlying thyroid imbalance because of the low carb eating, had to be addressed before those issues could resolve themselves. So, without further ado, let's get to the 4 solutions I've created for you to help you have the best sleep of your life while eating low carb. First, if you don't feel like it is carbohydrates and you love the way you feel on low carb and you're like, la la la, not listening, it can't be the reduction in carbs that's creating my sleep imbalance, you could try having a hot shower or bath right before bed. I find that this is really helpful if you have a bath and you load it up with Epsom salts, which is also magnesium. So you put a couple of cups in there, put like lavender or other calming scents that make you feel really, really good and relaxed. Lavender has always been that smell for me. And immediately following, go to bed. Maybe have some tea, but don't go downstairs, don't turn on lights, don't grab your cell phone, just go straight to bed. That can be helpful. The second one is working out late in the afternoon. So if you're working out in the morning and that can really get you revved up for the day, sometimes it can cause issues at night when you're trying to sleep. I have tried working out between 4 to 7, and I find that time is pretty good for helping me wind down before falling asleep, as opposed to the 8 to 10 p.m. workouts that I used to do. Third solution is making sure that you're having magnesium at every meal. I will include a link below to my favorite magnesium. I have 1 capsule with every meal, sometimes 2 if I'm super stressed out or I'm having issues with my digestion. And the fourth thing, which may cause you to plug your ears or pause this video if you're currently low carb, is that you probably need to eat more carbs, because before, when you were eating carbs, your sleep was fine, and then you removed carbs and then your sleep started sucking. So logically it makes sense that you need carbs in order to improve your sleep. But this isn't me saying you need to like eat all the carbs that you were eating before. In fact, you'll probably only need to incorporate just a little bit more. Let's go through what happens to your body when you've reduced your amount of carbohydrates so much so that it is affecting your sleep. There are certain processes in your body that require carbohydrates in order to function. Some of those processes include thyroid conversion, so converting your inactive thyroid hormones to active thyroid hormones, as well as creating red blood cell cellular energy. But because we have that spike of cortisol to break down the muscles, we also experience the increase of cortisol, which is the sleepless nights and the inability to lose weight. So if you've been eating low carb, high fat for quite some time, your sleep suck and you're not losing weight anymore, it could very much be because of this yucky loop that you've gotten yourself into. So if you're like, oh gosh, yeah, maybe this actually is a problem and I should maybe experiment with this. In Fat Fueled, one of my digital programs, I outline how to incorporate a carb up practice that feels good in your body. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, start eating 200 grams of carbs a day because eating low carb is unhealthy. No. I think you can experience, and I am living proof of this, that you can live in the low carb, high fat space while also taking care of your body and nourishing yourself with the carbohydrates it needs, but not overdoing it. And for me, that's having a touch of carbohydrates every night. We're talking anywhere from a little palmful to a big heaping bowl if I'm like super hungry, but those big heaping bowls are few and far between. If there's anything you take away from this video, know that you can eat low carb, have great sleep, benefit from ketogenic living, and also spare your muscles and also spare your cortisol so that you can slide into your body's happy place. So I hope that was helpful, and there are 3 things that you can do next. First is to grab my program, Fat Fueled. I will include a link up here and also down below, and that will go through all of the practices you need to totally rock a carb up practice that feels right for you. You have 3 different options for how you approach your carb up eating style, from having it every day as opposed to every couple of days, or breaking it up into longer periods of time. And I outline how to do all of that in Fat Fueled, plus more. And the second action you can do right now is that I have packaged up the transcript for this video and included it in a PDF totally free. All you got to do is click the link up here, scroll down a little bit, and I do this because I have a Mac, but scroll down a little bit and you'll find the pink button. Click that, enter in your details, and you will receive the transcript that you can have and read and click on the links and just have handy so you can always go back to it if needed. And the third thing, you should subscribe to my channel because I come up with videos every week, including ones like this and some recipe videos and a couple of bonuses sprinkled in. So I will see you next Wednesday, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Bye!